Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Nancy, welcome back to Uncensored. We're just having a kind of insane debate, in my opinion. But there's a lot of insanity flying around at the moment. One of which is the utterly appalling spectacle of so many on the left openly, brazenly.
She has constantly been saying the shooter was transgender, and then uses the slurs for transgender, is calling for an all-out war on them, basically. She is abhorrent. Nancy Mace is disgusting. She also leverages her own sexual assault so that she can use it against the transgender community as a card. It's disgusting.
Proudly celebrating the murder of...
And I want to say this. At the end of the day, what she's really concerned by, right, is, okay, if we let transgender women into our restrooms, then, men could pretend they're transgender and go into our restrooms. So what she's still worried about at the end of the day is the straight guy, is the men, right?
Of Charlie Kirk. How have we got here as a society?
Well, it's insane. You can just see in the previous debate, you saw two grown men, Democrat men, screaming, yelling on your program at two women. Riley Gaines is one of the brightest, smartest, youngest minds fighting for what she believes in, and we want to encourage that, not discourage it. I don't want to discourage anyone out there to prevent them from speaking up by getting yelled at. I was yelled out yesterday in front of Don Lemon.
Don Lemon was not yelling at her. He was doing his job as a journalist, which is to ask questions and to point out when you're lying. Literally on camera, lying to the American people.
At the steps of the Capitol, and all we want to do, I'm a rape survivor. All I want as a rape victim is to ensure that men aren't in my bathroom or Riley's bathroom.
So who's she really concerned with? The trans woman or the straight guy who's going to take advantage of it? She's worried about the cisgendered male still. She just doesn't want to say that. And she's also, she's just transphobic. She's a hateful, see you next Tuesday.
Bathroom or in the shower next to us. That is dangerous and it's uncalled for. But to see those men on your program yelling at the women who are just talking freely, talking in a sane and normal manner, trying to have a colloquy, trying to have a national conversation, and they're being screamed at. That's how we got here. And until the left and until the Democrat Party acknowledges their role in this, it's not going to get better. And I have to tell you,
they're always talking about how Tyler Robinson was radicalized by the left. Listen, I'll tell you right now, sometimes they want to sit there and say, oh, the left pulled him in. Maybe the right pushed him to this, okay? I don't think the left pulled him into it. I think the right pushed him into it.
It's terrifying right now to be a conservative. I am carrying my 6-hour P365 everywhere I go. I have armed guards everywhere I go. I can't even go to the grocery store alone anymore. I can't even walk my dog without a gun because I have so many on the left.
I'm going to call it right now. Nancy Mace is going to kill someone. I think that she's going to shoot someone. I do. And I don't know who it's going to be, but she is going to shoot someone. I think so.
Democrats, a lot of transgenders who are emailing, calling, trying to show up at my office, threatening to kill me, my children, my family, my elderly parents, father of my children. And I'm not going to live in fear. I'm not going to be terrified. And I'm going to figuratively fight back, figuratively push back, and protect my safety. Today, I'm going to lead a floor debate against Ilhan Omar. Lucas was asking about a prominent Democrat celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk. They're everywhere. But let's start with Ilhan Omar, who's right down the hall from me right now. I'm in Congress at the Capitol, who celebrated the murder and political assassination of Charlie Kirk by saying that people who were mourning his death were full of shit, excuse my language, but no, and is posting content celebrating his murder, calling Charlie Kirk a terrorist. I can't even with these people because they just won't tell the truth. And
she will not tell the truth. She will never tell the truth. I'm going to show you a clip as well from here.
Transgender was a tranny. Come on, let's be honest about this.
That's disrespectful.
I really don't care because there are a lot of trannies out there that want me dead because I'm a rape victim who wants privacy in the bathroom. The trannies can F off.
She's leveraging her sexual assault to wage war on transgender people.
I don't care. They want to kill me, and they're not going to.
How would you like it if someone called you out of your name? If they called you a B word or any of that, how would you feel?
These people are calling me a cunt and all these awful names online. Are you kidding me? Come on. They are the most egregious, most vile, violent people on earth. They are mentally ill and should be in a straitjacket with a hard steel lock on it.
Disgusting. Wasn't transgender. Lie. She's using her own sexual assault to leverage war and hate onto a transgender community, which, by the way, makes up less than 1% of our population. What the hell is wrong with her? And at the end of the day, the person who she's most likely to be sexually assaulted by is an American-born man. That's it. Statistically speaking. All right, anyway, let's go back to...
I love having a debate. I love coming on and having a conversation, even when we disagree, Pierce. But there's never anything ill or negative or like, I don't want to bring harm on anybody, but we have to tell the truth. And how do you...
Sorry, I just can't believe she said that. I don't want to bring harm to anybody. What?
Unite with people who refuse to tell the truth, who continue to lie. I don't know how you continue to have a conversation with these people. We have to shun them.
Do you have to be careful? You know, I watched Pam Bondi trying to explain that hate speech is something that the Attorney General believed should be pursued with the full force of the law, and I recoiled from that, as did many on the right, because actually the First Amendment protects hate speech. It doesn't protect incitement to violence or acts of violence, but you can say hateful things and be protected under the...
Which she does. She does.
The First Amendment, and it was pretty staggering to hear an Attorney General who didn't seem to realise that. Some have criticised you because you have a hotline. You've encouraged people to call in, and you know, if people are saying bad things about Charlie Kirk.
Pierce Morgan will never push back when it comes to the transgender stuff. He never questions her on that. He's pushing back. He's like, oh, you're, you know, people who, this is her tweet. If you know of any South Carolina teacher, state employee, or federally funded employee who has celebrated the assassination of Charlie Kirk, report it anonymously to Team Mace with a tip line. Stupid fucking... I can't with her, dude. I can't.
And so on. You know, there will be people on the left going, well, this is just complete hypocrisy, because really what you're operating with this is a form of the very cancel culture that you and others on the right have always professed to hate. What do you say to that?
Well, this is a cancel culture, and I have voted and I've supported legislation that protects the freedom of speech, that protects the First Amendment. You know, I've been out there on the Epstein files too, protecting survivors, by the way. There are Republicans out there who are very vocal, like myself. But free speech has consequences, and I'll quote Ilhan Omar, who tweeted that you have the right to say anything you want, you have the right to those opinions, but there are consequences. And if you are around children, my particular focus is on the educational system, those that are teaching our kids or in the classroom, and those who are making healthcare decisions for people. I don't want the bias and those who are celebrating the murder of a political class, a political side that they don't agree with. They should not be making medical decisions for others, and they should not be indoctrinating their kids. We look at Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old kid who self-admittedly murdered Charlie Kirk because he didn't like his opinions and thought he was full of hate. They're condoning this, they're endorsing this. He was radicalized, we believe, at school and in the education system. We can't allow that. I mean, when I was growing...
He went to school in Utah, bro. Okay? I'm sure that most of his teachers were not leaning left or spewing... like celebrating Charlie Kirk. Like, he grew up in Utah in a religious MAGA family.
Oh my God, teachers were just normal. You had no idea.
Again, sometimes people aren't pulled into something, they're pushed. And so maybe he wasn't pulled in by the left, maybe he was pushed by the right to do this.
What their politics were. And now kids are forced to say, what are your pronouns? And can you define 100 genders? And, you know, they're being influenced and inspired and radicalized. And this can't be happening. This is how we got here. And we have to admit that this is the truth and that we're going to work together to end it. And they don't want to. They don't want to. And I don't know what else to do. I want to defund the schools that allow teachers that celebrate murder to stay there and stay employed.
So she wants to penalize students then, because if she's going to get rid of teachers, who are the other teachers that are going to fill in? She literally doesn't give a shit about kids. She doesn't care at all. Her entire agenda is just come down on the transgenders. It's insane. That community, just leave them alone.
Right? I want to defund.
You know, I want to ask her too. I wish somebody would ask, did the person who sexually assaulted you, were they transgender? I don't know if anyone's ever asked her that, because I guarantee the answer to that is no.
Them, and I want to shame these teachers out of existence. I don't want them anywhere near my kids. No, or yours.
Nancy Mace, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you.